Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursdays at 3. I'm your host, Jason Crespin, here at the Amarillo Little Theater. Today's Thursday, January 19th, and it's a show day. We love show days. Oh my gosh, we're so excited. Clue begins performances today. We have four amazing, fantastic, brilliant, oh so talented actors that are going to be joining me here in a second to talk about all things Clue related. It's going to be a fun Thursdays at 3. Before we begin, we of course want to let you know everything that's going on at ALT. And gosh, we are busy, y'all. 2023, I can already tell it's going to be a busy year. We, of course, want to remind you spring registration occurred. It is still underway. Classes began this past Tuesday. There's still classes, of course, that are meeting the rest of this week or the weekend or on Monday. We have some great workshops. We have some great kind of classes coming up. So definitely check out our calendar of the full fall, or excuse me, spring schedule. And speaking of the Academy, don't forget that this weekend, auditions. That's right, auditions for the big spring musical Cinderella. Cinderella at ALT. It's going to be a great show. Of course, Rodgers and Hammerstein. This version is kind of the updated version that they did several years ago on Broadway. Michaela and her team, they are well ready for auditions. So hopefully all of those kiddos are ready as well. If you are unaware, check out our website, amarillo.littletheater.org. Click on the Academy, scroll down to the audition packet. All the information you need there is there, forms, when rehearsals will be, all of that great stuff. So check it out. You also have to sign up, I believe, for a time slot. You can do that with that link as well with the audition packet. So break a leg to all of you who are auditioning for Cinderella. Fun fact, I think I'm correct. Fun fact, when we did Cinderella years ago, uh, that was Jeffrey Pickens' first show, was Cinderella. Justin's nodding his head backstage. Thank you for confirming, Justin. But yeah, so I can't wait to see this version of Cinderella. It's gonna be really, really fun. Oh, Mabry says, I'm ready. I don't know why I give you this voice, Mabry, like you were Arnold Schwarzenegger, apparently. But you ready, Mabry? I can't wait to hear you sing. Anyway, it's gonna be great audition. So break a leg to all of you. And then of course, rehearsals. We have rehearsals going on every corner of the theater. Of course, Clue, we've been rehearsing on the main stage. If Then is over at the Adventure Space. Tickets are on sale right now to our members for If Then. We want to remind you, of course, that show opens February 2nd through the 12th over at the ALT Adventure Space. It's going to be a fantastic show. So tickets are available for memberships or members right now. Starting on Monday, that's when tickets go on sale to the public. So definitely get your tickets for that. But like I said, they're rehearsing over there. And then the lobby, that's right, the lobby, the Turk lobby, these Shining Lives, they've been rehearsing in that space because we have no other space. They'll take over the main stage while Clue is dark for a couple of days, but then they'll head on to a dance studio to continue rehearsing. So gosh, rehearsals every corner of the theater. So break a leg to you guys who are rehearsing and preparing for the next great feats of theatrical wonderment at ALT. Um, Speaking of amazing things, we need our amazing volunteers. Volunteers, you guys know we cannot do things without you. Right now, our volunteer coordinator, Alyssa, she let me know earlier today, we are still in need of some volunteers for Clue. Of course, we're talking about ushers. We need 4 ushers per show and 2 people helping concession for Clue. There is no intermission for the show, so we're running kind of the concession pre-show. So that's about 6 people we need every night. And we just added a show, so we still need people for that added on show as well. Even if you're coming to see the show, you can volunteer. So just let Lissa know there, Lissa at amarillo.littletheater.org. We all know the number. Call 806-355-9991. Let her know there's a link as well. Some of you may have seen it on Facebook or have received the email for Sign Up Genius. You can sign up that way as well. But like I said, Clue, ushers, and concession folk are needed. We also have a work call this coming Saturday. That is, of course, I don't think I have the link or the screen graphic for it. Let me pull that up real quick. But it is for If Then. We still need about 3 or 4 painters to help out for the work call this Saturday. It'll be, of course, at the Adventure Space. If you can help out, they'll start about 9:30. They'd love to have your help if you can help out. They'll feed you. So let Lisa know if you can come. She'll get a head count for our amazing volunteers who provide lunch. There it is. Paint call for If Then. I think they have about 2 or 3 painters right now signed up, so we need about 3 or 4 more. This Saturday, the 21st, 9:30 a.m. Again, show up at the Adventure Space. If you show up at the main stage, you may be auditioning for Cinderella without even knowing it. You might just walk in and get cast as a field mouse or some sort of squirrel, woodland creature. Who knows, right? You might be cast as a painter in Cinderella. Who knows? So show up at the right spot and lend your help. We'd love to have you help out. And then lastly, if then talking about if then, Lissa is already looking at crew members for that show, and Lissa and that production team are in need of 2 spotlight operators. So if you are interested in working crew for If Then, again, the shows are going to be February 2nd through the 12th. Just let Lissa know. Call Lissa. Right there, call her, email her, all that good stuff. Lissa wants to hear from you. Call Lissa. Call Lissa. She'll provide you a giggle, a laugh, some sort of maybe a little jokey joke, some sort of prayer request, whatever you want. Lissa will provide. Not whatever you want, guys. We're yes, we're nonprofit, but we're not that nonprofit. So, keep it clean, all that good stuff. All right. Jerry Tidmore says, I love when there are so many shows rehearsing. It's true, Jerry. We've been like this for a couple years now, where there's speaking like Saturday, there's going to be 4 shows in some sort of an existence, because Clue will have a show. If Then rehearsing, of course, These Shining Lives is rehearsing, and the Academy will be working on Cinderella. So super excited. Gosh, tons of great things happening at ALT. It's a place to be. So come help, come volunteer, all that great stuff. Okay, I think without further ado, of why you really are tuning in, you're not wanting to see this mug, not wanting to see this goatee anymore. You're tired of it. You're like, move on, Jason. Change it up. 2023. You want to see these shining, amazing faces. Let's bring on our fabulous actors of Clue. We're talking about Kristen Lloyd, Justin Lloyd, Terry Wilson, and Keegan Reed. Hello, my people.
Hey, Jason.
Hello.
Hi. You guys look fantastic. Look at those smiling faces. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. Hopefully you guys are rested. It's show day. We have a show tonight. It's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Cannot wait to talk to you guys about Clue. First off, let's just go around. We'll start with Kristen and go around in clockwise order. Remind us who you are and who you play in Clue.
I am playing Mrs. White and having a ball with her lovely stoic character.
And in fact, this was just like yesterday or the day before, Kristen came out and I was like, did you dye your hair? Because I was so used to you having black hair that I was like, oh wait, that's a wig. I forgot. You're playing a character. No. I'm dumb.
Not actually raven haired.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. I loved it. Justin, remind us, who are you in the show?
I am Mr. Green in the show, so
It's not easy being green. Kermit the Frog.
Not easy being green. It's true. So true.
I love that. And Terry, who are you in the show?
I am 2 different cops.
One wasn't good enough. We needed 2.
We needed 2 cops.
2 versions of your copness.
I never played a cop before, and now I'm 2 of them at the same time. No, not at the same time. Yeah. Different time.
In fact, I think maybe we should do that tonight. You should play both of your cops at the same time. Unexpected and backup.
And backup.
I love that. And then Keegan, who are you in the show?
I am the motorist, and I am a backup cop with Terry.
That's right. I feel like you guys should have like a backup dance, you know what I mean? Like it's this whole Soul Train, some sort of Temptations Supremes kind of moment. I think that'd be great. Okay, wait, this just in. Jerry said, I love that our theater's so busy, shows are doing amazing things. Yes. 3 of my absolute faves. And hi Keegan, new faces are awesome. Notice she said, again, I'm a big stickler for this. She said 3 of my absolute faves. So awkward. Apparently, this one's left out since Keegan's the new face. And then Kelby also, 4 of my favorite people. Apparently, the 5th person is left out. So Jason was playing the role of Yvette tonight.
Is the 5th person? You just made an assumption.
Find out tonight. It's going to be awkward in the dressing room now, Kelby. Thanks for that. Kathy Durrett, she says, coming tonight. Can't wait. We can't wait for you to see the show as well, Kathy. And then, Jerry says, Jason, you're my fave. Well, and then, Jackie, well done, Jackie. 5 of my favorite people. 10 points, Miss Scarlett. Well done. Well done. Yeah.
Good thinking. Good smart.
Exactly. Working ahead. Jackie's always thinking ahead. I love that. Obviously, all of you guys, we know you guys have been volunteering with the show for quite some time. Keegan's brand new to us. We'll talk to you in a little bit. But Kristen, let's start with you. Kristen, remind us, what do you do when you are not at ALT?
Yeah, I have my own voice and acting studio. So I teach people who want to improve or grow their vocals and their acting skills. I'm actually in my studio right now. I've got a student coming at 4. So
Nice.
that's what I do outside of the theater. And it's musical theater specific. So I get to play theater even when I'm not at the theater.
The theater, and you're doing more theater, and then you sing about theater.
I
like it. I like it. Yeah. And Justin, remind us, what do you do?
I'm the finance director for Sparkman Orthodontics, so I oversee finance and insurance for all 3 of our offices for all patients.
I like, since your title is finance director, I just want you to direct finance shows. Like at Sparkman Orthodontics. You know what I mean? Like how to succeed.
Nice work if you can get it, and how to succeed.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Just any sort of business financial show. I think that'd be great. Terry, remind us, what do you do when you're not at the theater?
I am the library branch director for the Amarillo campus of Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center, which is a very long title.
It is. It's awesome. And during the run of this show or rehearsal of the show, I got to go to your office to have you try on something. And I was like, ooh, this is shiny and nice. I like it. And also, like the best spiral staircase to walk down. Like I felt like I was Mame coming down to join the thing to my party, but it was just books. But
That's right. Come see me. You have a lovely view of Medipark, or really a lovely view of a tree. And Medipark is behind it somewhere. And then you go down the spiral staircase.
I don't know why. I loved walking down the spiral staircase. I felt so Angela Lansbury. Yes.
Pearl Burnett.
Keegan, Keegan, what do you do when you're not at ALT?
So I, part of my day, I'm an instructor at Amarillo College's new downtown campus called Innovation Outpost. And then on the side, I am launching my own business, Ethos Coaching and Consulting, to help people discover their power and strength and build their teams.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
You said a lot of words that I feel like I should know that I don't really know that well, like ethos.
we can cover that later, Jason.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that sounds smart. I just want to walk down staircases. But there's some there's some discrepancy in the chats. Let's see. Jennifer says, always fangirling over Jason. Thanks, Jennifer. Kelby says, you'll never know which one is out, which I love. Jerry is calling people suck up. I don't know if that was to Jackie, Jennifer. Who knows? We'll find out. But then she laughed. So she's not. I love it. Oh, Keegan. Kristen says, Keegan is my bestie. Can't wait to see him tonight. Yay! So many more people are coming tonight. I love that. That's awesome. Well, obviously, Clue, when we announced Clue, I wanted to ask, was this a show that you guys were like, ooh, I'm interested in auditioning for this? Terry, yes. Of course, you were directing a show this season. So it was kind of like, I'm sure you were also like, okay, what show might I want to audition for around my directing, with directing Significant Other? Kristen and Justin, of course, you guys have been a part of shows. Keegan, brand new. So I want to hear, like, why did you want to audition for Clue? Let's go to the newbie first. Keegan, why were you like me? I want to see myself in Clue.
Well, I fully blame Kristen McCarroll for this. She called me texted me a couple days before auditions and just basically was like, hey, you're going. And so got my script, and then she came with me to rehearsals and held my hand the whole time because I sweat through everything. It's fine. But it's kind of a long running. I've always loved Clue, and I had always wanted to be in theater, but it wasn't something we did in my family. And so I actually saw Kristen Lloyd in Anything Goes as an adult, and that was the moment I had decided, when the time is right, I'm going to be brave enough to do the thing. And so between Kristen Lloyd and Kristen McCarroll, all the Kristens are amazing.
Wow. Yeah, you just have Kristen power and Kristen energy.
Right. So, So
you need to email Kristen Bell, be like, yo, Frozen 4?
Listen.
More with Keegan?
Yes, Kristen Wiig. We'll get all the Kristens here.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, look at you. That's great that you were like, I'm gonna audition. I love that, and obviously turned out well for you. That's great. Terry, what about you with scheduling and with directing? Why were you like, this is the show I want to try for?
Normally I only deal with one show a year because I do work full time, and it's difficult to pull off. But I was looking at 2 shows to direct and 2 shows to that I was interested in acting in. And one of the things was just once Significant Other, which was way at the beginning, was over with, and I was looking at Clue and I was looking at Clue and kind of Clue and The Father. But I also was thinking, it just depends though on who's directing. And then once you signed up to direct, I'm like, why not?
I love that. It was awesome. It was great.
Also, it's been 7 years since I've been on stage, so.
Wow.
Which is crazy to think about. It's so crazy to think about. Well, we're glad. Hopefully it won't be another 7 years, maybe just 7 minutes. Seven moments or something like that. I love it. Justin, Kristen, what about you guys? Of course, you guys have been a part of shows, and of course, you guys audition for many things throughout the seasons and stuff like that. What made you think, Clue? I want to audition.
It was probably the #1 show of the season when it was announced that I was like, I definitely want to audition for this show. One, I've always loved the game as a young child, and then still as an adult, but the murder comedies are so much fun, and so I just wanted to put my foot in the ring and see what happened, and it happened. So I'm very thankful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Kristen, what about you?
Oh, I voted for Clue, and Clue, so much fun. So Clue was my top want of this season, and that and Guys and Dolls, and I got to work Guys and Dolls, so I'm very grateful for that. But I hadn't done a play since Musical Comedy Murders, and it was such a fun doing a murder whodunit is so much fun. And Mrs. White was like dream role for me. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun to get to play a Madeline Kahn character twice? Because the last time I was a Madeline Kahn character was Young Frankenstein. And so I just, please. And so was just floored and so excited when it happened.
Is that why Terry is writing the Madeline Kahn play? Terry, I feel like like Kristen, you should be like, Terry, write this Madeline Kahn play, this one-woman show, and we'll pitch it. It'll be at the Adventure Space 2026.
That's it.
It'll be great. Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah. And randomly, there's a stage manager named Kristen that Keegan's playing. It's awkward. It's just how full loop somehow all worked out. I love it.
See what happens.
Audrey Moore says, "Can't wait to see this show tonight. What a talented cast." Kristen, I'm just now all with Kristen. Audrey, you're exactly right. This whole cast has been phenomenal.
Oh my goodness.
And honestly, I was so blessed. I was so blessed with the amount of people and the turnout and the talent at the auditions. Like, you guys all were there. Like, it was so much talent, so many. I mean, when we had like 5 or 6 people reading for parts, it was that deep that these roles could have gone to. And so when we sat down and figured out kind of the best combination and looked at conflicts and all of those things, it just kind of fell where it was. And Christy and Rice and I were talking, in fact, last night about from auditions to y'all's last rehearsal last night. It was like, man, I'm so like we picked the right people. Like, you guys have just bonded and have just had it's just been such a fun experience, and just the positivity and I was describing it as one of the most creative processes, because you guys have just had fun and been able to take risks and try different things, and so it's been really, really fun. So I cannot wait for you guys who are coming tonight to see the show. Gracie Hurt says, "So excited to see you all on the stage. This show is gonna be killer." So true. Well, Keegan, we just found out, of course, how you started out at ALT. Terry, remind us, how did you get involved at ALT?
I started auditioning in 2010, I think. Someone who's been in the ALT for a long time said, "Yeah, you'll get it on your third," just as we all do.
Your third
He was
audition.
right.
Get it.
My third audition was Sorted Lives, and I just took off from there. So.
And then started, of course, directing for us 2 seasons ago with Calendar Girls. Then, of course, Significant Other, and also now an instructor in the academy. Talk to us a little bit about that class, that workshop.
Oh, yeah, script analysis. It was really great this past fall. It's been a long time since I've been able to teach theater since grad school, really. We because of Clybourne Park, I had them. We did the Raisin in the Sun was the script analysis thing we did for 8 weeks. So we just did that. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I'm gonna pull it up again this spring. We're probably gonna do a bunch of different scenes, but I think it's great to watch people kind of go, oh wait, the theater has been doing theater as a subject area. They do this. This is not just made up by Jason or Alan or they didn't think of that themselves.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Nope. It's all there. It's so true. I love that. Oh, we have some love from Florida. One of my past students there. Tavy Scholl says, sending love from Florida. Oh, we miss you, Tavy, Brickleg, and all that you are doing. So proud of you. He's in the Finding Nemo show at Disney World, and tons of other things, potential things coming up for him. Debbie says, can't wait to see y'all Sunday. Break a leg. I think Debbie belongs to Kelby, which we love. I can't wait for you to see it, the show, Debbie. Justin, remind us how you got involved at ALT.
Out of the blue, actually. My first show was Hello Dolly, and I got a phone call from the then music director, who is Rolando Salazar, and he was like, we had somebody drop out of the show, and I really need a male voice, and I've talked to Alan, and he's approved it. Can you be at the theater tonight at this time and just see if it works for you? And I was like, okay. And so I show up, and Alan stands up in front of everybody, like, we've got a new cast member, and I don't do this, and ever, so don't suck. So, that was my introduction to ALT.
I remember when you came, because I was in that cast, and I remember thinking, because I think I'd seen you in Texas before.
Yes.
Before, and I remember just thinking, he's so tall. I don't know why.
That's a beanpole.
First memory of Justin Lowe was tall. How tall you were. I loved it. Yeah, and then we were like, yes, he can sing. He's talented. I love that. And then Kristen,
look back.
It's so funny. A twist. Everyone thinks Young Frankenstein was your first show, but not this guy. I remember My Way. Tell us more about when you started out at ALT.
Well, it's funny. I came to audition with a friend of ours, mine and Justin's from WT. I didn't come to audition. I came with him, not Justin, but our friend, to the auditions to support him. And while there, Alan was like, well, you're going to audition too, right? And I was like, no, absolutely not. No, I'm not here to audition. And about an hour later, he had like strong-armed me into auditioning, and I was the last person. Like, other people had already even like started leaving, and he's like, no, just sing, it's fine, just sing. And so I was like, okay, and I sang, and then I was on the cast list of 4 people. And I was like, what happened? What did I do? So that was my first show with ALT, and then shortly after that, Ryan and I moved to Austin and didn't come back till 2016. So Young Frankenstein was my reintroduction to ALT. Yeah,
I love that. I remember there was some show that you came and saw that I was in, and you came in through the line, but it was before Young Frankenstein, and I was like, with a White Christmas? Yeah. And I was like, you're Kristen Cantrell. I saw you in My Way. And you're like, well, I'm Kristen Lloyd now. And I was like, I remember you in My Way. You should come back. Yeah.
And I remember running into you, Kristen, outside of Linda Eder. You came home for the Linda Eder special event. And
every time I came home, I came to see an ALT show. I'm like always been such a fan. So I saw so many shows before I moved back, and was like, when I came back, I was terrified because I was like, oh, I just want to be involved so badly. I hope they'll let me, and I hope they'll accept me. And it's just been the best.
And I think we've let you. I think you've been.
So yeah, it's been amazing.
Well, obviously, Clue, we've had, rehearsals. We have our first audience tonight, which is super exciting. Those of you who are coming to see the show or interested, the show really follows the movie really well. Did you guys know the movie before the show at all? Had you guys, Keegan's like, yep, nodding head, yep. Yeah, it's such a staple in my life too. It was one of those shows, like if I was ever in a sad mood or cleaning and just needed to pop in a DVD of something just to kind of be playing in the background. It was always a fun show to watch. And were you guys big fans of the board game growing up?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know the movie until I was an adult. So I never saw the movie until I was already grown, but I grew up playing the game. And so when I finally did see the movie, I was like, this is brilliant. It was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead.
Well, the coolest part about the game for me was just the imagination of like what do these rooms actually look like, and and how intricate the board was, and so like it was like playing theater before we ever did theater, and so it was really cool when the movie came out and you're like, oh, look at that room.
There are props. Anytime there's a board game with props, I'm all about.
Bring it.
Yeah. Justin, what you were gonna say?
I was gonna say my mother gave it to me for it was either birthday or Christmas, either second or third grade. And she loved playing it as a child as well. And her sister had their original set from when they were kids.
Oh, cool. That's very cool.
And actually got to play that not too long ago with my cousin and her son and my mom. And we played it on my mother's set from growing up as a child. So
cool. That's very cool. Terry, did you play it at all?
We only had one board game. My parents only bought Monopoly, and that was it. So, I knew of it, and I knew what. Yeah, I was just like, this is it. And then, really, we weren't very good winners or losers, so we very rarely played it. But nice. The movie I was aware of, but like a lot of things, when I was in college, I saw it, but that was it. I didn't become enamored of it, but I was actually a big fan of something that was similar in 1976 that Neil Simon wrote, a movie called Murder by Death, which is, I don't know how he didn't write it based off of Clue, because it's very similar, very punny and all that jazz. So
nice.
Terry, I was actually going to say I came to the movie Clue in a roundabout way from the board game, because I loved the board game, loved the imagination of thinking through like the secret passageways and all of that. And then I found the movie Murder by Death and loved that for years before I found Clue. And so, because even Eileen Brennan, who plays Mrs. Peacock in Clue, was in Murder by Death. And so, we'll have to touch base on Murder by Death, because everybody I talk to, they're like, no, I've never heard of it. And it's got like Sir Alec Guinness and Eileen Brennan and
Your Falk, David Niven. Basically, it's all the famous mystery all the famous mystery detectives brought into a mansion. And I mean, all you need to know is that the mansion is on a road called Twain, like Mark Twain. The number is 22. So of course it's 22 Twain. And that is the movie. Is just
I'm gonna watch it. I didn't know about this. I love it.
I've never seen it either.
I feel like tonight the backup cops are gonna have this like in-depth conversation about Murder by Numbers.
We're doing Howard the Subbenson Mum. Yes, that's what we're doing.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, I love that. With this show, and of course the style of the show, we want to remind everyone it's 90 minutes, no intermission. It goes by really quickly. Let me ask first Kristen and Justin, because you guys have so much of the comedic bits that are with other people. Like the main 6 suspects with Wadsworth and Yvette. How is that for you guys? We've all talked about how in rehearsals, the little tricks of the trade, or do we gasp or do we not gasp, or where do we look on this or that? How is that for you two with learning the blocking?
Well, I think the repetition and the drilling of of you saying, okay, you gasp here and da da da. It's just solidified it for my brain, and the comedy helps set up the next bits, and you have to listen. I find myself really listening, and if the reason I'm missing a line is like I'm listening, or my brain's ahead. It was like that one day in rehearsal where I was like saying a line because I thought, oh, this is where we're at in the show, and no, it's not, because that was 2 scenes before and I already said it. But,
yeah. It's been really fun. The Mrs. White, so much of her comedy, because she's pretty quiet, I think, for the most part. She's very, she's always watching and kind of secretive. But so much of her comedy is just one-liners that are just like little zingers all through the show. And that's been a lot of fun. And it's like Justin said, you have to listen because it's constant conversation, and you have to be right where you need to be for it to be funny. And it's just been really cool because it is, in every sense of the word, it is such an ensemble show. It only works if we all work together. And that's been just really cool.
Well, and you're right. I mean, Miss White has some iconic lines of the show, the movie. Like, there's just things that I'm so grateful that the playwright included a lot of those iconic moments or scenes or lines from the movie for this, because I think we've joked about this. I'm like, the gays are gonna love that line. Good job. Okay, moving on. Like, we gotta keep that, like, because it's just so iconic. It's so true. I love
it.
It
has to be there. It has to be there.
It has to be there. It has to be there. I would get run out if it wasn't, I think.
You don't want to miss it.
No, don't want to miss it. Keegan and Terry, I don't want to give too much away, but you guys have also some physical comedy as well that you guys do. I mean, everyone does, but you guys have to also be a part of physical comedy moments. There's one moment that, again, this isn't giving anything away, but I love Terry Wilson so much because there's a moment where Justin and Keegan, you guys are involved with it with Nels, and Justin's kind of controlling a glass. There's nothing in that glass, but every time it splashes on Terry and Terry reacts, it cracks me up. Like, every night, Terry, when you react about getting drinks spilt on you.
Method acting.
It's so good.
I believe there's liquid in there.
Yes. It's so good. It's so good. There's also, again, not giving anything away, there's a part where Terry just runs around Colonel Mustard. Just look for when she runs around Colonel Mustard, and it cracks me up. That setup and that physical comedy right there, it's just it makes me laugh hard.
And your reaction to what you just done makes me giggle too. Like after what Jason's talking about, after you finish that and you have a moment as well, and I'm off stage left just giggling to myself.
Right, and I don't know if you guys saw my notes today, but I literally had to tell one of our crew members, we can hear you laughing backstage. Yeah. like I was like, just be mindful, because I kept thinking, who's laughing? Because I was like, is it spot ups? And they weren't laughing. The booth wasn't laughing. I was like, I hear laughter, and then I was like, oh, it's backstage. Okay, we gotta, which is great. I love it, but also be mindful in case there's not laughter in the audience.
There's so many great comedians in this show, and anyone who's had to work with someone who doesn't get comedy, I mean, there is a rhythm, and there are things where you're like, no, that's not going to work. Why? Because it's not funny. And people are like, well, why is it not funny? You're like, I can't explain comedy when it's like, it's either funny or it's not. And every single person in this show is such a great comedian. And Jason, you've choreographed both literally and figuratively. I mean, it is a dance. It is a dance from beginning to end. I mean, I don't know how you did it, but it's amazing in that sense. And everybody here, everybody is just fantastic.
Thank you. Well, and I'm all, me, I'm all about details. I'm all about those little things.
Yes.
Even today, working on a chandelier for 45 minutes, and I should have probably been doing something else.
Well,
I was like,
and then that moment at the end of scene 9 that you've created, then the amount of detail that's in that moment at the end of scene 9, that I wish people need to bring binoculars just so they can zoom in on the detail of this. It's so amazing.
Well, and it's funny because it's a little montage. What Justin's talking about is basically there's a section of the show where everyone's exploring the whole house, and how do we do that without, going to all the rooms and all the things and blah, blah, blah. And so being creative with that was a lot of fun. And of course, I got huge shout out to Dallas Theater Center. It was inspired by their show. Of course, we're using set pieces and props and different things like that. But I am very excited for our audience to see the set. Crystal Burns, our of course, president, they were working on some things in the lobby, and she peeked in and was like, "That's the set." And that was just the pre-show set. Like, it wasn't even like any of the cool bells and whistles that happened. Yeah, and so I was like, "Oh, just wait. I cannot wait for audiences to see."
It's so cool.
For a play, we have over 200 called light cues. That's not even all of the light cues. That's just 201 called light cues. For a play, we have
A
over
90-minute play.
Yeah,
90-minute play.
no intermission.
Yeah, and we have over 115 sound cues, called sound cues. And I'm like, for a play. So again, huge shout out to Christy Corder, who's running our sound, production assistant, Rice Garing, calling all of those light cues. We have an amazing crew that's running things, from our spot ups to our running crew. In fact, one of our amazing running crew members, Gabe, there says, "I know I have to be mindful of my cues. It's so easy to get caught up in the comedy." It's so true. So true. And then Amy Pritchard, Sean Pritchard's mom, says, "Can't wait to see the show," or what Sean describes as his most favorite thing he's ever seen at ALC. That's awesome. Very, very cool.
Love that.
Awesome.
Yeah, huge shout out. And then our friend Amber there from the Manny Camper says hi. She said hi, friend, and then friends. Gotta make sure everyone is a friend there, which is good. I love it. But yeah, so we've gone all out with the show, from making sure wigs look correct to making sure, costumes and set pieces and everything. I'm really excited for the show, and I think audiences, and they have kind of already committed to the show. We were lucky. We found out that our show was basically selling out very quickly. The original run is about 30 seats left, scattered singles here and there, for that original run. So Tuesday, we were able to commit to adding a performance, which was very exciting. So we posted this information yesterday that we added a show. We were, of course, there's Wadsworth serving up the weapons. We added that show January 28th at 2:30. Very, very excited for that show. And I have news, y'all. For that added performance, we only have 170 seats left.
What?
And it went on sale on Tuesday. So 2/3 of that show is already sold. So a third of that show is still available. So if you want tickets, I'm telling you, do not wait. Call our box office, 806-355-9991. Visit our website there, of course, AmarilloLittleTheater.org. Get tickets to that Saturday matinee, because I'm telling you right now, it's going to go quickly, especially after tonight's audience sees the show. Word of mouth is just going to spread. We, of course, will look at potentially adding chairs in the aisles. Those are available. Similar to Elf, anyone that comes to the show, they can. And if you don't have tickets, come to the show an hour before showtime and get on what's called the standby list. Then you can go across the street, enjoy a drink at Baby Crush, or get some food at Jason's Deli, anything like that. Come back about 10-15 minutes before the show starts, and any tickets that return back in are able to be sold then at the door. That's different than the wait list. That's just when the show starts. Tickets that are turned back into the box office that evening. So still some ways to get in, but I'm telling you, I hope everyone gets to see the show that wants to see it, because it's a fun one. Grayson says, "I can't wait to see this all-star cast tomorrow night. Heard the most amazing things." Thank you, Grayson. And then, of course, Christy Corder, our amazing production assistant, says, "Can't wait to have an audience tonight." I know. That's the thing too. And Terry, you know this as a director. Of course, Kristen and Justin, you've been a part of shows for quite some time. Keegan, I know you haven't done shows, but you've been a part of many audiences as well. The audience is the third character of a show. You know what I mean? That it's all the characters of the show. Of course, all the set changes and crew and technical elements, but we're adding that final element of the audience. And so that's going to bring new energy to you guys, new life. My hope is that we'll hold for laughs. My hope is that we'll hold for applause.
We'll spread the word.
Terry and I have talked about this before. When a show opens, it's like okay, here's our baby, and hopefully it's pretty. Hopefully everyone likes it. hopefully compliment our baby.
I mean, you know, with dramas, it's easier because you're like, oh, they're just thinking about it. That's what it is. They're just thinking about
just
it.
quiet.
With comedy, when
Shoddy.
you do a bit and it's like, that's it. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Not good.
Well,
Not
and even tonight or last night, Justin, there was a moment where his foot got stuck, and he was like, "I'm stuck," and I lost it. I could not hold it together because it was so funny. And moments like that, of course, will happen in the show. It's live theater, but you guys were so good about. And then of course, not giving anything away, but Jeremy has a great kind of two sections ish at the end of the show that every night just something will ring different, or he'll say something just a little bit different, whatever, and I lose it. And so I'm so excited for our audiences to see the show, and if possible to see it twice, because there are so many things that once you've seen it and you know all the things and you come back, you will pick up on so many things. Kristen, you have a great bit that you do that nobody will get the first time they watch, but then the second time they're like, that's why she had that problem in that same spot. Yeah.
Entendre.
yeah.
Oh.
I love that. Oh, Jacobs is coming Friday. Can't wait. So many different things. We love it. We love it. I want to ask you guys, what have been maybe a challenge with this show that you were an unexpected challenge? If there was any sort of unexpected challenge that you didn't maybe expect, maybe line load. Terry, gosh, Terry made me laugh. She emailed me. We had a couple weeks of rehearsals, and then I was like, okay, off book. And Terry's like, I've had 3 rehearsals. Like, I'm already supposed to be off book, and I was like, I know, I'm sorry. You weren't needed for a couple of those rehearsals, and then now you are, and sorry, now you have to be off book. But I want to know, just even with you, Keegan, being a new person on our stage, were there anything that you were like, I didn't expect this to be a challenge, but okay, and obviously overcame it?
The quick changes have been pretty hard, and I'm figuring out like, oh, I can do this, or oh, I don't have to wear that particular thing for this particular scene because you can't see it yet, things like that. But the most difficult thing that I'm still working through is everyone else is so funny, and the way that you have created this show is so funny that there is a section where I cannot laugh. I cannot even smile, and it is so difficult because I'm sitting between two Justin and Nell's wonderful comedic actors and everything else happening around us, and I am so much enjoying what's happening that I've also had to like go, okay, when you get to that scene, you need to think about what you need to do at work the next day, and just check out, because if you're listening, you're going to laugh, because I love to laugh, and so that's been the most challenging piece. Is not
sure.
laughing.
Oh gosh, yes, and it's so funny because the main 6-8 suspects, if you will, they don't have costume changes. Keegan, Terry, Hunter, Michael, you guys have the costume changes of the show. And so Keegan has to go back and forth several times, and so I hadn't thought about that. You're right. Kristen, Justin, Terry, any challenges for y'all?
Well, just the last scene of the show, that line load, at first I was like, oh, man, that's a lot of words in a fast and short amount of time.
And at the end of the show, when it's like people gotta go to the bathroom. Yeah.
That really puts the exclamation point on everything, and just getting that out there and making sure it's understood and it's not taking forever. And yeah, it's been a while since I've had a line load this heavy, and it stressed me out, but I knew it internally. I knew it more than I thought I did. And it just amazed me how quick it would come out, and it would be in the right spot. And I would just be totally like sick to my stomach going into rehearsal going, I don't know this, but I knew it.
Yeah. All that good old muscle memory. So true.
For
Ladies,
me,
any challenges?
For me, a lot of it's been the choreography of the show. I did not anticipate. I mean, I knew that it would be an intricate show, and I knew coming into it that my line load was going to be lighter, which was great, because I was like, yay, this is going to be like not as stressful. It's going to be wonderful. Except then I come in and you realize, even though the line load's not quite there, she is ridiculously observant, and it's like she has to notice everything, and it's going to be obvious if she doesn't notice this and notice this for later. But then there's choreography everywhere. I mean, like the not just the blocking, but it's the dance of the comedy and the dance of the characters and how you move and where you move and how you interact and all of those things. And it's been a lot, And just in a 90-second show, we are constantly in choreography. We're just constantly dancing around our story.
Well, and we even talked about how your reaction, Miss White's reaction to things. And so it was like, oh, like you did something, I was like, I love it. So we got to do that throughout. Every time you react to something, every time you're uncomfortable, what do you do?
Yep.
Every time that you get caught off guard, what do you do? Which I love finding those discoveries as well. Terry, any challenges for you?
For me, it's been what surprised me as a challenge, because I prefer smaller parts. You know, I prefer not to have line loads anymore. And not have to be at 100 rehearsals or something like that. And really, that's been the problem. When I came in, everybody had been rehearsing for so many weeks that I was like, wow, I really feel like I'm not in this show, because there was already a rhythm going on. And so it's been kind of funky for me to sort of figure out, well, what's their rhythm? How is my character going to be talking? Because I had to listen to them. I had to, I mean, I could have played it 100 different ways, but I had to listen to the way they were already established. Yeah. And I was surprised at how hard it was to come in. It was like walking into someone's, Thanksgiving dinner, and I didn't know the family. And I'm like, what?
That's interesting. Yeah.
What?
And they're like, Terry, will you say the prayer? And you're like,
exactly.
Like, are we not?
What religion are we?
Exactly. Yes. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was a little weird. It was a little weird, but it's been fun.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes
sense. I would be remiss to not mention the most unexpected thing for me was each of you. I have zero training other than that I pretend to be a responsible adult on a daily basis. I have no acting or theater training at all. And so going into it, I don't know if any of you noticed at rehearsals those first 2 weeks, I wore jackets every night because I was wearing 3 shirts underneath so I didn't sweat through them. I was so nervous being there, and I'd set it up for 30 years in my head, right? Like, I'm going to do this someday. But each of you, and even people in the crew, have been so kind and so wonderful to bring me in, make me feel like family, and say, here, try this, try that. How can I help you? When I mess up, you're all so wonderfully kind. And I would say anybody who wants to try theater and wants to see what that's like, ALT is a really, in my experience, has been a very safe place to just kind of walk out and play pretend with other people who have wonderful hearts and wonderful spirits. And so I really appreciate that from each and every person who has been a part of the show.
We love hearing that. It's nice because sometimes we take for granted, we're all in the thing, and then we're like, oh yeah, there's somebody new. This is what we do here. This is where we have to park. This is, but it's nice. It helps us remember all of those important things for sure. And so I love hearing that it was a good positive experience for you, Keegan. That's great. Grayson Darrington has also mentioned seeing Kristen rock that stunning wig for 90 minutes will make my 2023. Grayson, I want to see December 30th, 31st of 2023. I want to see your top 10 list of moments of 2023 and see if Mrs. White's wig is still on that. So yeah,
I'll pay you later, Grayson.
Kelby says, one of us, one of us, one of us.
Scary.
I don't know what reference to. Oh, yeah.
One of us, one of us.
One of us. Yeah, you're definitely one of us for sure. Grayson says he's on it. He's on that list. As we wrap up, I want to remind people, of course, call the box office 806-355-991. Visit the website amarillotheater.org. While you're at the theater, if you are so lucky to see the show, we want to remind you, of course, no intermission, so get your drinks beforehand, get your concession beforehand, but also check out this awesome table in our lobby. Our ALT board has put together basically 6 baskets. It's really 5 baskets because one can't fit in a basket. That have kind of gone off of each of the main 6 suspects. So you'll see there that gorgeous painting for Mrs. Peacock. They have a basket for plum, a basket for green, a basket for white, mustard, and scarlet. All items that are awesome. I think there's like for Miss Scarlet basket, there's a gift card for Scarlet Door. Miss White has a beautiful white robe, some white chocolates and different things like that. I think green, there's even like lottery tickets in green, like all this like money kind of thing.
Oh, I better.
So anyway, check those out. We'll get those posted on our website or on Facebook, our website, The Whole Nine Yards. But make a bid on one of those, and I'll find out by next Thursday at 3. I'll find out when those bidding ends. I don't think it's the last show. I think they're going to wait a little bit longer for that to happen. Oh, and I also want to show you guys real quick. I forgot. I had so much media. Of course, that's our awesome cast. We recreated the logo there of the weapons in the back. But we want to remind, of course, Professor Plum there, of course, Nels, Rob as Colonel
Oh,
Mustard,
wow.
Mrs. Peacock, played by Lene, who is, oh my gosh, there's so many sections that Lene does that I cannot stop laughing at. Here's the black wig, in case you had not seen it yet. That's right. Ooh. I really think, what's that? There's that children's book where the teacher leaves and she has a
Yes, the
substitute.
Texas with the, yes. Oh, what is it called?
And the substitute has the black hair and it's
Yeah, and the mole and the.
Yes,
Yeah.
I feel like that is Kristen, like it's her substitute teacher that is really her. Jackie, of course, Miss Scarlet, Jeremy as Wadsworth the butler, Kelby there as Yvette the maid, which is so fun, so fun. So we want you guys to come see the show, make bids on those baskets. It's going to be a great time at ALT.
I think
As I wrap up,
basket.
Sadly, I think I might make a bid or two as well because there's some
Maybe
stuff
I
that
need
was,
Mrs.
like,
White's
really cool.
basket. I don't know.
Right? Yes. Lastly, before I let you go, I know especially Kristen has a lesson here at 4. But as we wrap up, I want to find out from you just one word, 2 words, 3 words. What is your most favorite thing about ALT? I'm taking the word family off because we already know how great. Yeah, we all know ALT's, the second family and all those things. But is there something unique that you love about ALT? Is there something, the way we do things, maybe the quality of work, or what? I just want to know, what is one of your favorite things about ALT? Kristen.
So other than family, because it's like Keegan said,
Yes.
it's such a beautiful, safe place for camaraderie and all these things. But I think it is so very important, especially in we live in such a world of busyness and such a world of uncertainty and chaos and things like that. I think it's so important to have a place to play, to have a place where you get to have something that's fun, that you're passionate about, no matter where that is or what that is. But for me, ALT is that. My family is where I am all the time. If I'm not at with my family, I'm at my studio, and I'm working and I'm still doing what I love, but it's still working. ALT is where I get to come, be me, and I get to play, and I get to escape, and I get to, even if it's just coming to watch, doesn't mean being on stage. It's where I get to escape, and I get to go play, even in the audience. And I think that's really important. And so I am very grateful for ALT and all that they do for our community.
I love that. Anyone else?
I would say talent, because I say this all the time. I would put this theater and this community of performers up against any professional theater I've seen. And that's including London and New York and LA. I don't know where all these people come from, but, or why they all ended up in Amarillo, but yay.
I know, right? It's like weird, like what dimension did we land on that all this talent just is from here? It's so true. So true. Justin, Keegan, anything from y'all?
I would say scale. The scale of ALT. It always, just our set alone, just what our A team is able to do with the design given, and how our stages are transformed into these magical places to play and breathe and live and create these characters. I mean, it's just scale, from costumes to sets to music, all of it. It's just the scale.
And to think, right before this, the last show was on the same stage, was Elf, this huge musical, this huge December musical. To take that down, to build, this massive set. Huge shout out to George, Cumming, who helped us with the chandelier, Greg Dunlap, of course, Brandon Campumi, Noah Lang, and all of our amazing volunteers who helped us get our floor that we wanted. All like that, which is always fun. Yeah, Keegan.
I would again just say how life-giving that the space has been. Yes, we get to be characters on stage, but off stage, there's this authenticity and vulnerability that we get to have, and it's just a safe place to exist and have big wins and fail forward when we need to and grow. And so I just really appreciate that opportunity.
So true, so true. Kristen saved us as well. Kristen McCarroll says, Mrs. Nelson. It was Mrs. Nelson. The book's of Mrs. Nelson. It's where there's the teacher, and then the substitute teacher comes and has the black wig, and that's nice. I love it. I love it. Well, you guys, I love you guys so much. Kristen, Justin, Terry, Keegan, thank you for being a part of Thursdays at 3 today. Those of you who are watching, of course, get your tickets now. Clue is going to be selling quickly. Still some tickets left for that added performance on January 28th. Also, don't forget, break a leg to all of those Academy kids auditioning for Cinderella. If you can help us out on Saturday, we have a work call for If Then, the next great big awesome show that's going to be coming around the corner for ALT. If you want to be a part of that show, want to volunteer, still looking for those 2 spot ups, so definitely email Lissa at amarillo@littletheater.org or give her a call 806-355-9991. Y'all, we have a show tonight. I can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be a fantastic night at the theater. Hopefully our patrons will enjoy what I have been enjoying for the past 6 weeks. It's been a blast. Yeah, I know. I'm the lucky one that's gotten to watch every single rehearsal show moment. It's been so much fun.
If you get Jason to laugh, it's butter. So,
We need the audience to make noise. Make all the noise. Don't be afraid to laugh.
No.
Yeah, don't be afraid to laugh. Hoop and holler, all the good stuff. All right, you guys, we'll see you guys in just a little bit for our show. Everyone else, hopefully you have a great Thursdays at 3. Next Thursday, tune in. We'll have more information about If Then. We'll keep you posted, of course, on how Clue is going. So we'll see you guys all in a little bit. Thank you guys so much. Bye.